Welcome, investors. My name is Stanley Hunt, your host here at the Smartstox Talk Show. Here we are in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, which is the heart of the resource world. I have a new friend, Chris Anderson, president of Great Atlantic Resources. And Chris, you got full of energy. This company is wild.
Yes, Stanley, we've been very busy, and we are full of energy. We're all passionate about what we're doing here.
Passionate. I come into this office, and it's just full of energy. Every office has got something happening, and it's so nice to see that considering the market. So this is looking like a good future, and you're picking the right jurisdictions and provinces to do your plan.
Yeah, we came out with a good plan, and we've gotten a little lucky along the way. So, yeah, we're working all in Atlantic Canada, and as you know, New Brunswick has now been nominated one of the #1 mining regions in the world. I wanted to point out something, Stanley. We were there building the team and focusing on that region prior to it actually being nominated, but we saw the flourishing in the province coming forward, so we wanted to be in that opportunity. That region has been prolific in producing some of the largest antimony mines outside of China. Mm-hmm. We've picked up several different antimony assets in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and in Newfoundland. Yeah. And the only producing antimony mine in Atlantic Canada or in North America per se is the Beaverbrook Antimony Mine. And we now control the rest of the geological structure along there. Interestingly enough, Hunan Non-Ferrous actually owns the Beaverbrook Antimony Mine, and that's one of the large Chinese mining companies, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, fire retardant, I mean, and that's probably the main product from antimony, and this is really important.
Yeah, there's a whole different array of elements that use fire retardants. And stibnite, the main element in antimony, is used in those products. But antimony is also used as a catalyst for making polyester clothing, right? So I didn't know if you knew that, but in China they build these big multi-million-dollar plants. And to speed the process up of making polyester clothing, stibnite is used, and that speeds the process up by about 18 times. So it is an essential component in a lot of these things. Yeah. Then there's also the battery industry. Mm-hmm. And if you go to our website, Great Atlantic Resources, you will see a little video on there about a new technology that's being developed at MIT, and it's being sponsored by Microsoft. Yes. And those are liquid metal batteries, which is unique in the industry. And each one of those batteries, a 40-foot container, would use 4 tons of antimony, which would have a dramatic effect on the antimony industry. But those batteries are being designed as an alternative to feed the grid. Yeah, so it's an interesting new technology, and they're in an advanced stage of prototype. Right?
I saw that video, and I was very excited. You know, they want these big containers to store the energy, and then let it out. As they need it. Yes. You know, and that's really important. So yeah, you're right on the ball with this.
You know, Stanley, I'm really making a stance in this space, and we used the summertime while the markets were down, to go around and use our human capital within the company, because we really do have a great group of guys around us, and to go and consolidate some of these assets that were on the radar. Yeah. And antimony is a space that we definitely want to be in. There's a good growth there. And I'm off to the first annual antimony conference in the world in China in the first week of December.
Wow. Well, you're going to come back with a lot of exciting news, because, you know, everybody wants to deal with Canada, because everybody knows where, you know, there's no tricks here. It's just straight up. And being in the #1 provinces to do all this is very strong.
Yeah, and you know what? The nice little bonus with antimony is usually you find a little gold, right? So that's like our Westgore antimony project that we have. It's a past producer, and that was running before they shut it down in 1917. Yeah. You were correct on that. And they only shut that down because there was troubles shipping ore across the ocean, right? Not that they ran out of ore, but that was running about 3 grams per ton gold there as well. So one of the other commodities that we're looking after is tungsten. And myself and a couple other gentlemen, we were involved in another project out there that Hunter Dickinson has taken over now, and that was called the Sissenbrook Project. That was one of the assets that was developed by a company called Kidd Creek. Yeah. And Kidd Creek had just defined 2 primary targets in Atlantic Canada for tungsten. One was the Sissenbrook Project, another one was called the South Quarry. And we've acquired the South Quarry in Great Atlantic. And that's got a very interesting shot. That has the same geological setting, in our opinion, as a project that's like the Sandong or Cantong. You know, and they spent millions of dollars scouring Atlantic Canada looking for tungsten assets. And these were 2 of their main targets, right? The Sissenbrook project is on its way to being one of the largest open pit tungsten mines in the world, right? And the South Quarry, the geological environment there is set to be, could be big discovery type potential. They spent just shy of $3 million in development on that asset. And, in historic drilling there, they came across 44 beds of tungsten. So we've got a program there already to start doing some drilling on that. But we're just taking our time, putting together, digitizing all the historic information there. But we're excited about tungsten as well. So
you're talking about tungsten and antimony, that the demand is going to be there. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more.
Sure, absolutely. And the reason I say that is because it's the British Geological supply chart, the critical metal supply chart, has named these two elements as being the two most critical elements being sought after, right? In short supply. I mean, there's only 8 years known of antimony supply around the world at the moment, right? And tungsten is considered the teeth of industry, right? In that space that we're in, which is antimony, tungsten, and gold, those are the three commodities that we're focusing on. Those are some of the most sought-after commodities on the planet. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to capture the entrepreneurial spirit and exploration. Mm-hmm. So we've surrounded ourselves with a team of guys that all have a track record at finding mineable assets. Mm-hmm. We've chosen our regional space where we want to be, where we felt it was, safe, mm-hmm. a safe jurisdiction. A good government infrastructure, very supportive of the mining industry. And then we wanted to be commodity specific. And the two critical elements that are being sought after on the planet, antimony and tungsten, they're prominent in the region, and we have experience in that area. So we want to chase those commodities. And then we're taking our human capital, capturing our non-core assets, right, and packaging up those and building the company using a project generation model. So we've picked up some lead, zinc, silver assets, which we have 2 joint venture partners on, right? Now, for the most part, we try and maintain the operatorship so that we can use that to help facilitate and build the company, right? That's a lot we've got done, and we've got about 16 projects in the company now. And, we built that up. We've raised about $1.8 million so far. Everybody's in at a dime. We've attracted a fair group of newsletter writers and people in the industry that have given us a chance to build the company. So we're at a good starting point, and now it's time to get out on the road and start doing some marketing. So start to talk about the company, right?
All right. So you're looking for majors to come in and take you out eventually. What's your plan? I mean, we're explorationists. We're not producing type of people.
Right. Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Mm-hmm. What we want to be known as is the boots and hammers in Atlantic Canada, right? So we wanted to assemble an A team of explorers, and that's what we wanted to do. Yeah. And we wanted to keep our guys exploring mm-hmm. and in the bush, mm-hmm. right? So that's why the project generation model, it allows us to sustain and build an exploration team. Yeah. We're looking for, and I don't mind saying it, we're looking for a group out there, a mining group that would like to come in and back us. Because that's what we want to do. We want to be known as the boots and hammers out there. And we, take a call on some of the commodities that we find. And we're not in the mining business. We're in the exploration business, right? So
one thing about you, Chris, you're not shy. Just go for it, right?
Sure, why not? Right?
Right.
Number 1 mining district in the world,
that's
right? Chasing the top commodities being sought after on the planet with an A team of explorers that all have a track record of finding things.
Right. And a name great. And a name great, eh?
Great Atlantic Resources, yeah. GR's our symbol.
That's right.
Yeah. So
well, Chris, I know where you're going with this, and you got the energy, and I think you work 24 hours a day. I think that's what I heard you say one day.
Just a little shy.
Just a little shy, okay. Yeah. So I want to just thank you very much for this wonderful update.
No, and I appreciate you giving us a chance to tell our story, Stanley. Thank you.
I'm Stanley Hunt, your host here at the Smartstock Talk Show, where companies come alive.